Are you ready to dive into the mysteries of Lumen Industries? The hit Apple TV Plus show Severance has grabbed viewers with its strange world where workers have their work and home memories split apart. Let's look at the most mind-bending theories that might have you joining the cult of Kier. Everyone in Kier is severed. Let's start with one of the most unsettling theories. What if everyone in the town of Kier is severed, or at least once was? If you've been paying attention, Kier feels oddly detached from the rest of the world. The town has its own license plates, with a mysterious PE state abbreviation. Aside from a passing mention of Salt Snack, we haven't seen much beyond Kier's borders. It's almost like the town exists in its own bubble, severed, if you will. In a Reddit AMA, creator Dan Erickson revealed that he wanted Kier to feel unmoored from time and space. That unmoored quality bleeds into the town's architecture, culture, and people. What if Kier itself is a larger-scale version of the Severance experiment, an entire community of people whose minds have been tampered with? There's even more evidence hiding in plain sight. Take Ricken and his intellectual but strangely childish group of friends. Their behavior is bizarre. They debate things like why World War I wasn't called World War I at the time.
No one would have called it World War I because World War II hadn't happened yet.
An odd, childlike question. Ricken, in particular, reacts to events like a kid trying to win attention, such as when he yells that he was the first to find baby Eleanor. The biggest clue? In episode 109, Rebecca casually tells Mark that she has sores on the back of her head.
And I have some sores on the back of my head from my bird. You might see them.
Is that really from a bird pecking her, or from repeated attempts to implant a severance chip? To make things even weirder, look at their names. Pat N., Danny C., Rebecca A. The same naming convention used by severed employees like Mark S. and Dylan G. Rebecca's name is especially suspicious. It seems like a scrambled, incomplete version of Rebecca. Could this be the result of a damaged, severed mind? If true, this theory means the entire town is one big experiment, and that Kier's residents aren't living their own lives. They're living whatever Lumen wants them to live. Ricken is a goat's outie. Yes, you read that right. One of the most unhinged theories floating around is that Ricken may actually be the outie, or human host, of one of the goats we see being nurtured in Lumen's underground facility. In Ricken's book, he talks about his difficult childhood. His parents were arrested, and he was likely placed in foster care. Fans speculate that Lumen may have recruited him as a test subject for early severance experiments. It gets even more suspicious when we learn he once interned at a honey factory, possibly Lumen-owned, considering the amount of bee imagery scattered throughout the show. But here's where it gets disturbing. Ricken seems to have a deep, almost spiritual connection to goats. Goat statues litter his home. At his dinner party, everyone except Mark and Devon wears earthy brown tones, eerily similar to goat coloring. The sun god imagery on his book cover matches the sun blaring behind the goat in the infamous sacrifice scene. And then there's the bell app on his phone, strikingly similar to the bell used by Lumen employees to control the goats. The theory goes deeper. What if Lumen's experiments don't stop at severing human consciousness? What if they found a way to implant the severed parts of people's minds, memories, traumas, into animals like goats? This would offload trauma and stress from humans, transferring it to disposable, expendable creatures. It's a horrifying thought, but one disturbingly consistent with Lumen's cold, clinical approach to wellness. The man in the hallway. Blink and you'll miss him. But there's a man lurking in the hallway during one of the final scenes of Season 1. IMDb credits this character simply as Man in Hallway, and later as Shadow Mark. This isn't to be confused with Mark Watcher, a completely different character. So who is this mysterious figure? Many fans believe he's part of a hidden section of the severed floor, possibly a handler or physical monitor, tasked with keeping tabs on Mark. We already know the Lumen facility is labyrinthine. Maps show areas we haven't even seen yet, like the Coil of Doom. Entire departments are revealed out of nowhere, like the Choreography and Merriment department in the Season 2 finale. Could this man be from a department we haven't discovered yet? Or worse, could he be another version of Mark himself? Helly is pregnant. Here's a theory I personally believe could actually happen. Helly is pregnant with Mark's child. Throughout the show, we learn that Helly and Mark's innies have had sex multiple times. It's safe to assume Lumen isn't handing out condoms in the break room. On top of that, Subtle hints suggest Mark's outie has longed to be a father. The few signage outside Zoo Chinese, meaning father, and Miss Casey's cryptic line in episode 205, "Your outie is going to be," before she's cut off.
Your outie is going to be.
If Helly is pregnant, it raises huge ethical and emotional questions. Whose child is it? Innie Mark's? Outie Mark's? And who has legal and emotional claim to the child? The drama potential is enormous. Two consciousnesses fighting over the same baby. Was that Helena at the end? Another widely debated theory is that the Helly we see at the end of the season 1 finale is actually Helena, the real-world daughter of James Egan. Actress Britt Lower has publicly denied this, but showrunners and actors have lied before to keep secrets. Some fans point to Helly's cold glance at Gemma as proof, but that's up for interpretation. A strong counter-argument is that Helly references Delaware when speaking to Mark, a callback to her first day on the severed floor. This detail would suggest she's still Helly, not Helena. The board isn't real. One of the creepiest theories is that the board Lumen employees report to isn't a real group of executives at all. It's a computer, specifically a motherboard, storing the uploaded consciousnesses of past Lumen CEOs. In episode 108, Milchick asks if the board is present, and we hear a muffled male voice respond. Many believe this is James Egan, the only living member of the board. The theory goes that the other members are digital versions of past CEOs, kept alive in the company's servers and guiding Lumen's actions forever. This ties into the term, the revolving, which James mentions in the Season 1 finale. He tells Helly she'll one day sit with him at his revolving. Fans speculate this refers to the uploading of a CEO's consciousness to the board upon death, revolving their existence into digital eternity. Mark is James Egan and Cobel's son. One of the most radical theories is that Mark is the secret son of James Egan and Miss Cobel. In episode 208, we learn Cobel won the James Egan Fellowship as a child. Fans believe James may have had an inappropriate relationship with her, resulting in the birth of Mark. Cobel's behavior toward Mark, nurturing, protective, and disturbingly maternal, would make more sense if he were her biological son. It's even possible that Devon is also a product of this secret relationship, making the two siblings biological children of the Severance experiment's creators. Cobel was the first severed test subject. Many fans believe Miss Cobel was the first person to undergo severance. It would make sense. As one of the project's architects, she may have volunteered, or been forced, to test the procedure on herself. This could explain her dual personality, the warm, nurturing Mrs. Selvig and the cold, calculating Ms. Cobel. Her contradictory stories about her mother's religious beliefs hint at fractured, incomplete memories, a classic symptom of early Severance experiments. Gemma's death was a Lumen cover-up. The mystery of Gemma's death is one of the show's biggest unanswered questions. We're told she died in a car accident, but subtle clues suggest something else. Quick flashes of her wet hair, the imagery of a sinking car in the opening credits, and her comments about drowning all point to an accident involving water. Some fans believe she was saved by Lumen and turned into a severed test subject. But if that's true, why does Mark remember seeing her dead body? Was it a manipulated memory, a clone, or something more sinister? Irv will return in Season 3. Finally, one of the most exciting loose threads, Irving. In the Season 1 finale, Irv is seen calling someone from a payphone, implying contact with a powerful anti-Lumen movement. The person on the other end is unknown, but likely a former Lumen employee. Irv's intimate knowledge of the severed floor and the export hallway suggests he's more connected to this movement than we realize. His storyline is the perfect gateway to expand Season 3's focus beyond Lumen and delve into the larger world, and possibly an underground rebellion. We've traversed the twisted corridors of Lumen, unraveled realities that dance on the razor's edge between brilliant and bizarre. These 10 theories aren't just wild speculation. They're psychological landmines that challenge everything we think we know about consciousness, identity, and corporate control. Some theories feel like whispers of truth, so close to plausibility that they'll make your skin crawl. Others, pure, unhinged madness that could only exist in the fractured universe of Severance. But that's the magic of this show. It doesn't just tell a story, it shatters your perception of reality. leaving you questioning every memory, every reflection, every moment of your own existence.